Hello and welcome to Chapter 7, Section 5. Today we're doing rational exponent. So this sign means square root, and this sign means cubed root, and this sign means the fourth root. This number up here is called the index, and this number tells which root we're looking for. So now that we're dealing with exponents, since 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, then 2 cubed is 8, which means the cube root of 8 is 2. So they're giving you this, and they're looking for that. With exponents, it looks like this, 8 to the 1/3. When you see 8 to the 1/3, you're going to put it in a cube root. And you're going to know that the cube root of 8 is 2. So let's try a couple. We're looking for something whose cube root is 125. And that's going to be 5 times 5 times 5. So our answer, the cube root of 125, the cube root of 125 is 5. They can get a little more complicated. This one is pretty easy. What is the square root of 25? So this is going to be 5 plus. And let's try this one. 64 to the 1/6. You're looking for something small that you can multiply together 6 times to get to 64, and I'm going to tell you that's 2. So our answer is 7. So give a couple of these a try. On the top of page 489, check it out, number 1. So pause here, try number 1, and come back when you're done. With number 1, 81 to the 1/4, we're looking for the fourth root of 81, and that's going to be 3. Square root of 121 is 11, and the fourth root of 256 is 4. And 11 plus 4 is 15. Now, when you're looking at numbers like this and you don't know these numbers by heart, here's what I did. I wrote down a few that I know. I know these 3 pretty well. And I can pull out that one. And I can pull out a calculator and figure this one. If you're looking at a number like 256, you know that it's going to come in between 81 and 425. 256 comes in between there. I'm going to try the one number, and sometimes there's 2 numbers. If I end up with a number that's 3,000 and something, I would try 7 or 6 to figure that out. So have some handy numbers that you're familiar with or that sit in your notebook so that you don't have to do multiplication in your calculator over and over again. Or you can find your fourth root button, but it's nice to know these things on a level of understanding as well. What happens if you have a fraction exponent with a numerator that's different than 1? What happens if you have 8 to the 2/3? Well, the 8 to the 3rd part means we're finding the cube root of 8, but we're going to square that. So the cube root of 8 is 2, squared is 4. Let's try another. Oh, there's another way you could do this too. You could say the cube root of 8 squared. And then the first thing you do would be to find 8 squared, which is 64, and the cube root of 64. Now that's more difficult. It works still, but you can do it either way. They both work. So let's try a couple. First, we're going to find the cube root of 216, and then we're going to square it. And I know 3 cubed is 27, and 5 cubed is 125, and 8 cubed is 512, so it's probably 6 cubed. So let's try 6 cubed. That's 216, so this is going to be 6 squared, which is 36. Let's try another one. So I want the 5th root of 32 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So I know this is going to be 2 to the 4th, which is 16. Okay? try a couple of these on your own. This is, check it out, number 2 in the middle of page 489. Push pause here and come back when you've tried a couple and we can do them together. 16 to the 3/4 is the 4th root of 16 cubed. The 4th root of 16 is 2, cubed is 8. 1 to any power is going to be 1. 27 to the 4/3 is the 3rd root of 27 to the 4th. And that's 3 to the 4th, which is 81. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask. Let's try a word problem. In biology, C is going to equal calories. And the number of calories that you burn per day, which is C, is going to be 72 times the mass in kilograms of the animal to the 3/4. And how many calories will you need to feed a 16-kilogram dog? So we're going to do the number of calories equals 72 times the mass of the dog to the 3/4. So we're going to do 72 times the 4th root of 16 cubed, which is 72 times, and the 4th root of 16, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 2, cubed, 72 times 8 is 576 calories. You have a problem just like this. Check it out, number 3, about an 81-kilogram panda using this same formula. So pause here, try one for yourself, and then come back when you've got an answer. So for our panda, 72 times 81 to the 3/4, the 4th root of 81 cubed times 72 is 3 cubed times 72, which is 27 times 72, which gives us 1944 calories. Okay? Then they throw this remember bit in here. The square root is a non-negative square root, but if it's the square root of x, x can be a negative number. So if you have the square root of x squared and you're solving for x, x could be x or it could be a negative x, because negative x times negative x equals x squared. So the square root of x squared could be negative x. So your answer needs to be the absolute value of x. Now this is only when the index is even. If you had the cube root, here, if you have the cube root of x cubed, that's x times x times x, and these are all going to be positive. If it's negative x times negative x times negative x, your answer is going to be negative x. So this only you only need this if your index is an even number. So let's try what we've learned a couple of times. We have the cube root of x to the 9th, y to the 3rd, which means you have x to the 9th times 1/3 times y to the 3rd times 1/3, which is really x to the 3rd times y to the 1. x3y is our answer. Here we get a little more complicated. X squared to the 4th is x8. Y 1/2 times 4 is y to the 4/2, which is y squared, times the cube root of y cubed is y. So you've got 8x times y squared times y, which is 8, x8 y3. That's an 8. Thank you. 8. X to the 8, y to the 3rd. Okay? Give the check it out number 4 on page 490 a try and come back when you're done. So number 4, we have the 4th root of x4 y12. So I'm going to divide 4 by 4. I'm going to get 1. I'm going to divide 12 by 4. I'm going to get 3. So my answer is xy to the 3rd. xy to the 1/2 squared divided by 5th root of x5. This is x squared. This is y to the 2 over 2, which is y to the 1, y to the 2 over 2, which is y to the 1, and the 5th root of x5 is just x. Now, this goes away, and I lose one of those, and I end up just with xy. Your homework starts on page 491. We're going to do 31 through 79 odd. Please show your work. Some of this stuff I know you can do in your head, but I want to see some of the steps, because if you get it wrong, we need to figure out why you got it wrong. This chapter, we're on section 5. It just gets more complicated, and we're going all the way to 7-9 with this. So please, please make sure that you show your work and you are firmly understanding what we're doing. You will have a quiz after we're done with this section. So go over your notes and make sure you can answer them all. And if you'd like to, you can try out the practice quiz on page 495 so that you know that you're ready for it. Okay? See you tomorrow.